So today on Grace's Place, we're gonna learn how to make some fried rice. This is by no means a traditional recipe, but this is a great recipe for leftovers, and you can use whatever you have on hand. This could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It doesn't matter. Let's get to making some fried rice. The first step is get all your mise en place together, because this is going to happen really quick on the stove and we don't want to burn anything because we forgot an ingredient. I haven't really found a good place to eat Chinese food in Florida yet, and I'm very sensitive to like MSG, so I started making my own fried rice at home, and because we have so much leftover rice, it's just so good because leftover rice is the best rice to make fried rice out of because it's a little bit dry. So I'm using basmati rice. Basmati rice is a longer grain rice, and I like the texture of that in my rice in general, but especially my fried rice. I'm gonna make enough for me and Noel, so I have 4 eggs here. You know, whenever you're making eggs, it's usually 2 eggs a person is a serving. I have my eggs in this bowl, and in here I just have some scallions chopped up and some garlic, and I had some cashews. We're gonna kind of go vegetarian today. If you want though, you can make this really good by like cooking some bacon first and then frying the rice in the bacon fat, you know, kind of like pork fried rice. And then I have some teriyaki sauce, some sriracha, and really the only mandatory ingredient is that you're using an oil that has a high smoke point. This is sesame oil, which is a little more expensive, but I just had some. I don't usually use it that much, but I know it's going to add a pretty good flavor. Canola oil is a very good option, and even vegetable oil. I would just try to stay away from olive oil because it's got a lower smoke point. And if you're gonna use bacon to like cook your bacon and then cook your rice in that, I would add just a little bit of canola or vegetable oil to that, just to kind of like raise the smoke point a little bit so you can get more of a good fry on your rice. So before I put my eggs in with my pan, I want to season them a little bit. You know, eggs are delicious, but they also take on pretty much whatever flavor you're going to put into them. So before I add them to my rice and veggies or meat or whatever that's in the pan, even though we're making this a vegetarian one, I'm going to add some teriyaki sauce to them and some sriracha for a little spice. But you could use whatever you want. It's also beneficial to add just like a splash of rice wine vinegar if you have it, because vinegar is going to help the egg coagulate quicker, so it'll be a little more fluffy. So, got a little bit of teriyaki sauce. I'm going to add that to my eggs. And this is really whatever flavor profile you want to do. It's up to you. This is by no means authentic Chinese food. This is just, you know, whatever I make up with what I got on hand. And I'm just going to mix that up like you would when you're scrambling eggs. Okay, so I got my leftover rice. It's kind of clumped up from the rice maker, but I'm just going to kind of break it up a little bit. It will break up when I start heating it up in the pan, but just, you know, makes my life easier than fighting with it on the stove. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt to this, just because I've made this before, and it's just, you would think this has like a bunch of sodium in it, which it does, but it still needs a little more salt. I don't know. It's probably just me being bad. Before I get started in my pan, I want to make sure that I have my mise en place set up, ready to go. So this way it's really easy to grab and just keep going. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put oil in my pan. And it's going to take a minute for my stove to heat up because I got a shitty electric stove. It's really important that you don't put anything in the pan while it's cold. You want to be able to put your hand over the pan, and this should feel like kind of uncomfortable to keep my hand there. It's going to take a minute. So today I'm making this vegetarian, but if you wanted to cook bacon first, or really anything else, you could. I would cook that first and then take the meat out and then cook your onions and your aromatics and stuff in the pan before I put in the rice. So this way everything would get that nice smoky meat flavor. The thinner your oil looks, the hotter it is, so we're almost there. There we go. So I'm gonna add in my onions and garlic and cook them for a little bit. And then the rice, and then the eggs, and then the cashews. And then maybe some added teriyaki sauce, just because I like to make my eggs really dry and then add more sauce, because that makes sense. So I'm really hot now. You can see the oil is kind of pulling back on itself. So. Smells really good. So just a couple seconds to get those aromatics going. I'm gonna add in my rice. This is the fried part of fried rice. Make sure you keep it moving. You don't want it to burn. And after I get that all coated in the oil, nice and even. So you want to make sure you have enough oil in your pan. That's very important. Then I'm going to add my eggs. And I want to make sure all my rice gets coated in egg so it can have that nice flavoring on it. Over here. So once I'm sure it's all coated, just gonna add in some cashews real quick. Kind of break them up. I like that little kind of like browned egg. Those are my favorite parts. That's why I kind of let it sit for a second. If you're using a bigger pan, obviously, it's going to cook a little bit faster. But I don't have one. But that's okay. There's only 2 people in my house, so. And at this point it's done, but if you like it a little bit drier, you can cook it a little more. You just don't want it to burn. So as soon as you're done cooking it, you want to take it off the heat And don't melt your Tupperware. And that's it. It's ready to eat. It's gonna be delicious. Alright, so if I left this on the hot burner, the bottom would definitely burn. And I'm just trying to stir it a little bit to get some of the heat out. But this, to me, is gonna be a delicious breakfast lunch. As you can see, it's 12:30. So, that's how you make fried rice. I like to add a little more teriyaki to mine. Noel likes his sriracha. He likes spicy food. So, time to eat some breakfast. So, if you like this video, please subscribe, and if you want to be updated at any time I make a new video, just press the notification bell. Love the crunch from the cashews, so good.